Alright guys, I got a really shitty camera and an even worse microphone, but I promised you guys a story and here it goes. Now I told you about me walking home and riding my bike, right? Well, shortly after that I found myself down by the river, right? Okay, so these two guys have been living there for a year and a half, or I think a year and a half, maybe 2.5 years. But they're going into August, the middle of August now, and it's their second or third year, and I haven't even been down there. I know these guys, I've seen them around, but I never actually went down to their campsite. And the spot that they had was, it seems like it's right in town, you know? And for me, that's where the action was at. Anyways, so I go down there with his son. It's a father and son down there. They each have their own tent. And I get down there, and we're hanging out, and it wasn't even a minute or two. And I'm like, so, any Bigfoot activity down here? And they laughed, they had a chuckle, you know, and so, you know, they like, no, so like, they think I'm nuts, you know, they don't, no, there ain't no Bigfoot down here, you know, you idiot. And his dad, you know, he's Mr. fucking cool, you know, he's like, idiot, you know, I don't know if he said that, but he makes you feel that way. And, but his son, though, a couple weeks later, he takes it seriously, that's for sure. He was with the very first time I saw one. But anyways, not there yet. We're not to that part. So I'm sitting there, you know, and you got one campsite is about 50 yards from the other. And there's just like this busted down trail, you know, like this gravel trail, like this road thing where people would come down in their four-wheeler, turn around, you know, and at the end of it, it's about 100 yards, 75 yards long, takes a 90-degree turn, comes in from the bike trail, turns down, whips around, goes to the end. You know, those cement things that they put on the highway to just make a median, you know, a temporary median. A couple of them there, and that's where the boys' campsite was. And his dad, he was right on the corner coming down. And that was the spot where I would hang out, right? So we're hanging out there, I'd asked that question, and it wasn't long when I heard my first tree knock. And it would be and then I heard it again. And it was every time I'd get up out of the chair at the father's campsite to get up to go over to his son's campsite. And you gotta kind of turn around, walk back, take about 8 steps, get up on that stupid little gravel road. And bam, you take a right and you're walking about 40 yards down to his tent, you know? Well, they would knock just as I stood up, you know? And it was like every time I stood up, I heard a little, you know, tree knock. And, you know, I kept it quiet, you know, I didn't tell them how I was like, whoa, told you guys, Bigfoot, told you. Because, you know, I wasn't super sure myself, okay? But I heard a lot of tree knocks in the first couple weeks. And I didn't do much investigating. Might even been just 1 week. And, but I did go to my mom's about a week after, or even like, I don't know, 5 days, whatever, after I first went down to the river. And I was kind of living down there. You know, not really. I mean, I would hang out down there, stay up all night maybe, go crash at my cousin's house. Maybe I was at my dad's there during that time. But whatever. The point being, I was living free and living down by the river. So, anyways, I go to my mom's, right, for the weekend. Bring my daughter, and man, we have a kick-ass time. She lives across the river in the next state. And went to the swimming pool one day, and back behind my mom's house, there's like this valley, a stream, and then another 100 yards, it's like drops down behind her house, 100 yards, there's a stream, another 100 yards, there's a hillside. And not a hillside, it's actually a bluff. It goes straight up. It's super big. It's a bluff straight up. And I used to take my little brother and sister. We used to walk up that thing every year, you know. And it was funny, we get there, and my daughter and a bunch of other kids there, like my sister lives there with my mom, and she's got a couple kids, and they have friends, and there's a bunch of kids running around, you know. And they all, we all went up to the top of that hill that day, and I was really proud of my daughter. If you're listening, girl, I really miss you, and can't wait to see you again. And I was really proud of you that day when you climbed that hill. You led the way, all the way up that thing. Now, it's a different story coming down, but we made it, didn't we, baby? Anyways, that was super fun. So I took the kids up again. That was a couple years ago. Kind of tradition. But anyways, when I was down there, I was thinking, what a sweet spot for Bigfoot. Now this is back when I had no knowledge, no like hands-on knowledge, and I don't think I'm an expert, right? Well, look at this thing. You see how it's twisted? You see, it's not just bent over, it's twisted. And this was done when it was alive. Okay? That was done when it was alive. Alright, and it's now since it's died. Okay? But it was twisted. Always remember that. You know, when you investigate and kind of just use your brain, you can tell if it's been twisted or not and wonder why it's been twisted. Well, how does that work, you know? Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, it looked pretty sweet down there. Okay, so then after that first day, walking up the hill, the next day we went to the pool, right? Man, that town didn't know what hit them. I got 35 moves off the diving board, and we did every one of them. And my sister's boyfriend, she's not with him anymore. He was a douche, but I don't know, I kind of liked him. He's all right. But anyways, he was doing tricks too, man. The upside down cannonball, we call that the mortar. He tried the grenade. That's when you just go and do a bunch of flips in the cannonball position, landing however, you know when you're going for tricks and maximum applause, you have to lay yourself out sometimes, you know. No big deal. Always finish off with a belly flop. But anyways, we left the pool, and then they were gonna go to some street dance across the lake, and I'm like, boring. I need some time alone, you know. So I went down to reminisce the old times, hanging out down by that creek, right? And I'm down there, and I'm just staring, and I'm listening, and I'm looking, and I just feel like something's watching me, right? This whole time I'm down there. I'm down there for a couple hours, picking a few rocks, fucking just whatever, thinking, right? And on my way back up, I grabbed all this firewood, right? Because there's this fire pit at the bottom of the hill, bottom of the yard, that is, right above the hill where you go down into the woods and into that valley. And anyways, I fucking dragged this freaking firewood up that hill, man. I mean, I'm talking like 2 armloads, just making all this freaking noise, right? And it's getting dark now, you know. And it actually though, I gotta tell you something. Before I went down there was this girl that didn't go to street dance, and I was kind of, you know, this little girl, you know, she, whatever, I'm good with kids. And we were drawing pictures at the dining room table, right? And I drew a picture of a tree, okay? I remember that, okay? Anyways, so it actually wasn't quite getting dark yet. It was still a lot of daylight. I drugged that sucker up, right? And then I'm thinking, you know, I'm gonna build the biggest fire tonight. And just a big old blaze. And down at the bottom of the hill there's this cornfield. I'm gonna take this bucket, take a couple brownies, a couple apples, and that pitcher, and I'm gonna set it down there on this bucket. And when they come to see the fire, you know, man, maybe they want the apples, maybe they want the brownie, maybe they want to look at that pitcher. So like, I took a nap, right? I come out of the basement. My sister lives in the basement, right? And I come out the patio door down there, and nobody's around. Everybody's gone. It's quiet. I just took a nap. And as soon as I step out and kind of barely look down into the valley, I heard a double tree knock. And then I heard the dogs, the neighbor dogs, they just went off. It was the dogs just went off like crazy, and they didn't even make any noise when I was coming up that hill with that firewood. Okay, these dogs went off. Okay, and I'm like, Jesus, that was weird, and I can almost pinpoint the tree that the sound came from. Okay, I'm like, whoa. I lit that fire. The next day I went down there before we had to go home. I ran down there, and the apples were there, the brownies were gone, and the pitcher was on the ground. Okay, well, at one point everything was on top of the pitcher, including the apples. The wind didn't slide that pitcher from underneath the apples. And second of all, I saw like crumbs on the ground from that brownie. And I gotta think, if it was a critter, I don't think they leave crumbs. I think they eat every crumb. Okay, I'm not saying the big guy ate some brownies, but he didn't want those apples, I know that. That's usually something they want, so I'm gonna go with critters on that. But it's kind of cool how that picture was moved. But anyways, I went back to town all excited from my experiences over at my mom's and believing in even more. And I still had yet to see the beast, and that'll be another tale to tell. So thank you, YouTube, and hello to my daughter, I love you. And anybody else who knows me, be nice. And leave any comments if you got any questions. Later.